So, yeah, you can see right there. I mean, 3-ply, as good as they say it is, it goes through all 3 layers. So that's the second layer. And that's the third layer. So it goes through. The cloth masks, they're good if, like I said, you don't want to, be styling in one of these, so you put the black one over it, to not look so, intimidating. So yeah, I just want to put a slight correction. So I was looking, took a little break in between the two tests, but I was looking up the micron size of cigarette smoke, and I misspoke earlier. I said that the micron size of cigarette smoke was 0.1 micron, and that was wrong. It is, at the smallest particle, it is 0.001. So, what is that, 1/1000th of a micron size? So, yeah, so pretty freaking small, right? And as you can see with the KN95, no visible smoke came through, okay? And that's, in my book, that's good. That means that the filter's doing its job, okay? It's, are there some crappy KN95s out there? Yeah, absolutely. And those are the ones you got to be careful about, because those are the ones that aren't FDA tested. And the ones I have here, they're all FDA tested and certified. And just, you got to be smart about it. It's just common sense, and common sense goes a long way, especially these days, because listen, people want to save money, right? Money's tight for everyone, and knowing that there's a washable mask that is available, okay, 3-ply cloth or whatnot, okay, I think people have a difficult time distinguishing between what will protect you and what's economical. And the real issue is these unscrupulous companies. They say, 3-ply cloth mask, and I've seen ones, they tell you they're impregnated with some solution to help protect you. And listen, it's bullshit. That's basically what it is. It's just bullshit. None of that stuff is gonna protect you. Not the cloth masks, not the ones with an insert in it. The ones where people are using air conditioning filters, that's completely something different. And you really shouldn't, be using those, because, again, it's something that's not tested, okay? Most of the time, an air filter from an HVAC system works relatively on static electricity, okay? So as you have air moving through an element, it produces static electricity, and the static electricity is what attracts the dust, okay? You breathing in and out of an air filter meant for an HVAC system, it's not the same. You don't have the same electrostatic charge, and an HVAC filter is not meant to filter any type of virus or anything. So that's when listen, you make them in your basement and your sewing room. That's great, and I'm sure everybody has a fine intention when you're making masks. Masks are something that is a critical point, right? So we had a shortage on them, and then people took to their sewing room and started making them, and that's commendable. Though those people, those are true, people that stepped up to the plate to help. And then you had some not so great people that said, oh, well, well, I can make these, and I can put a filter in them, and I can sell them for 10 times the cost than they really are worth. Yeah, it's when you get kind of into the bullshitty area there, and I'm sure you mean well, or I'm sure those people mean well, but they don't test it, and for the public's sake, they buy it saying, oh yeah, HEPA filters, I've heard about those, or air conditioning filters, yeah, I know how they work, and that's not really how they're meant to work, so when I see these commercials on using a PM 2.5 filter, and inserting your mask and all that, the funny thing is, those aren't rated by the FDA either. I've never seen one that says these are FDA tested, like with the inserts or anything. And listen, they come in cool colors, and that's what attracts people to them, because they got funny faces, or they got cool colors, or whatnot, and they just look better. And I've seen people say, yeah, they're easier to breathe in. Right, they're easier to breathe in because it's not filtering as much. So you gotta look at it in a common sense view. And with masks like these, they're relatively cheap. Okay, so you almost have to think about it in a way of how much is it worth to you to stay out of harm's way. And you see this all the time when people say, I have no problem spending money when it comes to protecting my family. And that's what everybody wants to do at the end of the day, is protect your family, right? But these don't look as good. You walk into a store, you don't look cool. So, but you have, let's dust that one of all the Tony Yayo there. You have these, these aren't so bad looking. You put this on your face, you look like a patriot, and you look stealthy, and you look cool. And that's what people want. At some point during this whole mess, people wanted to look cool at some point and not talk about the safety portion. So, while I agree, these, relatively speaking, are cheap. So for regular people like you and I, we put this on, we walk into a store, we take it off, we wear it, for the day, 2 days, and we chuck it. You just chuck it, and you whip a fresh one out, and you're good to go. These, I've talked to people, they have these, and they say, oh yeah, I spent $5 on this. $5. You paid a nickel for a piece of t-shirt, and they just put it in their cup holder, or they put it on their steering wheel, or the stalk, the turn signal stalk, or whatever, and it just sits there the whole time. You don't wash this. I don't know of anybody that washes these on a regular basis. Okay, so forget about these then. So the other fancier ones that people make, same thing. They're still cloth, and you may wash them, okay, and they may come out better than the t-shirt ones, but you're not washing them as often as you should. Okay, and then if you were to buy a week's worth of them, they'll cost you an arm and a leg, because they're easily $15 for those things. With these KN95s here, I most certainly trust these, and you guys just saw right there on video, it filtered out cigarette smoke. If it can filter out cigarette smoke, it'll definitely filter out a virus and help keep you and the people around you safe, and not only keep whatever, you know, if you cough and you have one of these on, these will definitely protect you, and so will these. These are fine for everyday use. There's nothing wrong with these. Seeing people wear these on a regular basis, you know, this is overkill. Okay, this is meant for somebody, you know, if they're using it on a regular basis, more for contractors. You know, because I'm going to tell you something, partner. You're going to see a lot of, you know, things go on after we get ourselves out of the virus, where, you know, sensitive workers, so say those in the auto body industry or in the, you know, masons and people who work with concrete, yeah, let me tell you something, partner. You're going to see a lot of people, you know, hacking away a half a lung because they now have the onset of silicosis, okay? Because, you know, they say, well, these are too expensive, okay? You know, either I can't find these or these are still too expensive, so what's your next alternative? You go down to the hardware store and you get yourself one of these for, you know, $4.99, and, you know, you just wear it. It makes me laugh when before, you know, they had to have an N95 mask because they needed to protect themselves, but now that there aren't any, they have no problem using their t-shirt, and they think it's just as good. The mind boggles. It makes zero sense. Okay, so before this gets too long, I know it's already a long video, but I just wanted to show how, you know, and I wanted to see for myself how this really worked, because, you know, who knows? You know, maybe it's all bullshit at the end of the day, but, you know, I'm satisfied with it. You know, and real simple. I'm not talking about, you know, I have, you know, all these meters and, you know, gauges and showing how many particulates are coming in. Listen, I can see cigarette smoke is way smaller than a virus, and I saw zero smoke come in on a KN95. I saw a little bit of smoke come in on these 3-plies here, okay? And you saw with the t-shirt material, you might as well just filter it through a cigarette. I'm not bashing the people who were selling the cloth masks, okay? I think they do have a purpose. And their purpose is basically to just make it, you know, make it look better than one of these. Because these things don't look all that great, okay? But don't rely on a cloth mask if you think it's going to protect you, okay? And that's, you know, because if it did, you know, the N95s would never be a problem then. All right. So that being said, everybody just be kind to each other. Hopefully this showed you guys something that, you know, what works, what doesn't work, and hopefully it makes you think a little bit more. And yeah. And if anybody has a problem with the way I did it, I really don't care. You know, like I said, I pulled the experiment out just to do for myself. I didn't have any scientific data. Just the only scientific data I had was what micron certain things were. And I picked cornstarch because it was closest to the virus size, which was 0.3 microns. And I wanted to go smaller, which was cigarette smoke. Down to 1/1000th of a micron, all the way up to 4 microns. So that's you know, large particle, you know, probably the tobacco itself. Okay. So with that being said, like I said, I really don't care if you have an issue. If you do, or you have a better test, definitely I'd be more than happy to look at it and see what it means. And, you know, this was really just meant to show everyone what a mask can do. So yeah, and that's it. The video's already long enough, so I will end it here. But yeah, everyone, take care.